Good afternoon, everybody, or good evening, or good morning. This is me, Tia Torres, with another episode of Doing the Time with Tia Torres. My temporary replacement, maybe, for my podcast, 25 to Wife. For those of you that do not know, 25 to Wife has been around for quite a number of years. It is it was more a visual podcast, and it was me and my co-host, my ex-husband, Tony, while he was incarcerated. Well, he is out now. And it's not that I'm not going to do 25 to Wife again, but I'm extremely busy right now. So to set up cameras, brush my hair, put on a clean t-shirt, it's just not in my schedule. So I'm going to try to incorporate 25 to Wife, Doing the Time with Tia Torres together. As you can see, as you can hear, Doing the Time with Tia Torres is audio only, and it's actually free, where 25 to Wife was behind the paywall. So just let this one replace 25 to Wife for now, because I have some other content that I've been trying to get going, and when I do the visual podcast, it is much more time consuming, a lot of editing involved, whatnot. Plus, a lot of people just do audio podcasts. Like, God, you're spoiled. Oh, God, I'm choking on my popcorn. Okay, what are we going to talk about today? We're going to talk about me. We're going to talk about how I thought that I was going to be able to handle with ease bringing somebody into my life that had been in prison for so long. Wow. I don't know if it's because I'm old now, or if it's because he's done a lot of time, or I'm not quite sure. Times have changed, technology, etc. And if not for my kids actually telling me, Mom, give the guy a break. He's been in prison for almost 40 years and things are so different now. And I'm talking about, of course, my ex-husband, Tony. So we've been struggling. Not too bad as far as arguing and getting frustrated. I will have to say, it is me. It is me losing my temper, my patience. And there have been some days that I was pretty mean with my tone, with my mouth, with my words, because he just didn't understand what I needed of him. And we take it for granted. Oh, they're going to come out of prison and everything's going to be great. Which for the most part it is. It's nice having the extra help. But it's also very frustrating when things don't go the way I want. For example, I got him a cell phone, of course, needs one. Just got him a little cheapy one. And I explained to him, it's different now. Don't start uploading these apps and Facebook and TikTok and blah, 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 blah. But I did set him up a Facebook page so he could start to communicate with, friends or family. He doesn't have a whole lot of family out there. Just a brother and maybe friends from like a million years ago when he was a kid. Okay. So I set him up a Facebook page, and I would say a couple of days into having his phone, he says, "Hey, something's wrong with my phone. I don't know what's going on. Can you look at it?" And I forgot what the issue was. Anyways, I'm like, "Let me just go through your phone." He's like, "Sure, of course." So the first thing I do is go to Facebook, and I'm like, "Why do you have all these Facebook messages? From all these women?" And I mean that in a jealous way. I just went, "All these women." And he goes, "Oh, they're my friends." I said, wait, where do you know them from? He says, "I'm not sure." I'm like, what do you mean you're not sure? He says, "Well, when I would go on Facebook, it would say, people you may know. And then it would like the little button would say, friend request." I'm like, oh my God, Tony, no. Everybody on Facebook is called a friend. it doesn't mean they are your friend. So he was just tapping everybody's picture because he thought they were his friend. And I'm like, I felt so bad because one of them was like, it was a scam. You could see they were leading up to like trying to get money from him. And thank God there is no credit card attached to his phone. But poor guy, he was like pouring his heart out about, life in prison, and he's trying to make it out here. And I'm like, Tony, this is a scam. The person you're talking to is not this person. Yeah, it was sad. It was really sad. So that's a huge problem we're having, is him learning how to use the phone. He's getting confused with sending text messages, and God, there was one night, all of a sudden my Facebook messages going ding, 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 ding. I'm like, what is going on? And it's like my kids, and they're like, you better tell Tony the comment he just made was in a public forum and not to one of us. I'm like, what? So they sent me a screenshot, and he was responding to something my daughter had said, but it was a public page. He thought he was like messaging her privately. And I'm like, oh God. So we've had some fights. We've had some arguments, over that. I would say that's probably the biggest arguments we've had, is me saying, stop. And for a while there, at one point he smashed his phone, and I took it and I said, you're not getting another one. And I gave him a walkie-talkie so he could only communicate with me through walkie-talkie. I also think that age has a lot to do with it. I mean, come on. We all joke around like, if you're having problems with your phone or your laptop, just find a kid in the neighborhood, right? I mean, he's, 57 years old. So I don't think technology comes super, super easy to him regardless. So yeah, it was an unexpected struggle for me. Plus me forgetting that I've been doing this whole dog thing for 30 years. And then I get mad at him because he's not picking up on it. I'm like, why didn't you think to close the gate? You're from prison. They close gates, they close doors, everything's locked. And here you just leave everything open, letting my dogs in. Oh yeah. It's been rough. They don't give you a manual for when these people get released. And although I've been around the prison world for many years, you have to understand something. The last person I dealt with coming out of prison was my other ex-husband, AJ. And he did not leave us in a good way. Like he came out and within a short time caused a complete tsunami for our lives. And I haven't gotten a lot into that, and maybe I will on this podcast, but he turned our life upside down. I hid a lot of it. I didn't make it public. But me and the kids protected his reputation, if you could call it that. So there's a lot of little PTSD, prison PTSD for me when it comes to Tony being out. Thankfully, Tony has a great attitude. He's very friendly. Too friendly. One of my neighbors who comes up on the weekends even said to me, he goes, Tia, he's a nice guy, but he can't be walking up to strangers just telling them his life story. He goes, I can't even believe he did all those years in prison. He doesn't act like a guy that did almost 40 years in prison. And I'm like, I know. It didn't affect him. I don't know how. I do not know how. He did not come out with any issues, any hang-ups, any, don't touch me or don't bump into me. Don't look at me that way. AJ, on the other hand, had a lot of issues. But Tony, nothing. Like nothing. He is like, if I have to describe Tony, he's part Shrek. I call him Shrek all the time. He's Shrek part Sasquatch and maybe like the big guy from on the Goonies. Hey guys, that's Tony. He's like this big, huge, like a baby Huey. He's so like childlike in so many ways. So I feel good getting this off my chest because I've been holding it back. But again, everybody who comes out of prison, especially for that length of time, they come out, everybody's different. So there is no instruction manual to follow. But, big but, there are some things that I think across the board you should not do. And I'm saying that because I do see some of these young ladies on social media who document their relationships and their man getting released. And I'm like, ooh. And let me get into that a little bit. Overindulge them. Okay? Meaning buying them every single thing they want. Okay? Too much is too much. Okay? One of the things I've done with Tony, because I'm like, nope. And you can call me a control freak. I don't care what you call me. And that's letting him drive one of my cars. Getting him his driver's license and letting him drive. I don't go. Call me what you want. Tell me I'm demasculating him. I'm controlling. I'm not letting him have his freedom. No. You give a guy out of prison a car, most of them are going to get themselves into trouble. I'm telling you right now. Been there, done that. And I'm seeing some of the women. I'm talking about women who haven't been with a guy that long, like buying them a car, giving them their car. And I'm like, whoo. Now, that being said, there's probably some guys on here that are like, I'm responsible with my car. I'm like, okay, good for you. Good for you. I'm talking about in certain circumstances, okay? Just rewarding them, basically. Rewarding them for coming out of prison. I know it's like, okay, I get it. You're happy your man's home, but he went there because he did something wrong. So why, like, okay, I got Tony food. I got him some clothes. I got him a cheap cell phone. But we're not going to go out and go on $1,000 shopping sprees and buy 8,000 pairs of shoes and a new car. And no. So I would have to say, ladies, you can call me what you want, but I've been doing this a long time. You need to slow your roll. Too much is too much. I'm telling you right now. You're gonna, I can almost guarantee you it's gonna backfire on you. And there's a couple of women in particular that I follow on social media, and I'm like, ooh, no, this is, got a bad feeling on these ones. But hey, not my relationship. Just my advice. Okay, well, today Tony has a hangover. His first one. So he's out there with the dogs, laying outside in the sun with the dogs. So he did technically still come to work. But yeah, so please bear with me again, doing the time with Tia Torres. This is kind of my placeholder right now until I can get back into either 25 to Wife or another prison visual podcast I want to do. I want to be able to include Tony and some of my guys here. So I just need to I have some projects, some work projects I got to get done before I can do all that. Believe it or not, I don't do social media all day. I know, shocking, right? All right, guys. Well, thank you for doing the time with me today. I feel better getting that off, like I said, off my chest. Now you know what I've been going through. And we will catch up with you next week. All right? Take it easy.